Thank you so much for stopping by our booth. Just want to have you talk a little bit about the excitement here at CPAC and what you're feeling and sensing in the overall conservative movement here.
Yeah, I'm actually very thrilled to be here. It's my first time at CPAC, and I've been asked to speak on one of the panels, so that's pretty cool. And you know, you can just feel there's a buzz, there's an energy that, and not having been here, but I've been at restoration weekends, it's something that you really can't put your finger on, but a lot has to do with what happened in Virginia, with New Jersey, Scott Brown recently. Finally, all of the conservative people are saying, you know what? There is no safe seat in the House. And you know, we're not talking about 40 seats anymore, we're talking about 435 seats, and that's what we should be talking about every 2 years. And so I'm really happy to see that, and it's just a really good time, and people with like-minded people, and we've got Tea Party people and 912 people, and DC Works for Us, so the grassroots people are well represented here, and this is going to be a fun time this year.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, today is the anniversary of the signed stimulus package, and you know, we were against it, as most conservatives were, but kind of a funny question. I mean, what have you seen the stimulus dollars go to in your state?
There's a sign that says this project funded by the stimulus package, but the project hasn't started. So I guess it's funding signs. I'm not sure what else it's funding.
No jobs.
Yeah, no jobs. We haven't seen any. In fact, jobs in our area, ever since the signs have been going up for the stimulus plan and what it's been doing, our unemployment rate has also risen. So I think if we tear the signs down, we'll probably create jobs tearing signs down or something. But it's just insane to believe that by taking money all right, let's look at it this way. And so I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. When the government takes our tax money, and they take it from us, and then they give it back to us, and they expect us to be happy about that, but they're taking out their cut. They shouldn't take it. They want to stimulate the economy. You know what? You stimulate the economy by letting the people keep their money, and then let us invest it. We know how to do that. We know how to stimulate our own economy with our own money. And that's why when we talk about the economy, you want to talk about creating jobs, we've got to actually lower taxes. And let's look at what a Democrat, John F. Kennedy. Let's look at a Republican, Ronald Reagan. Those were times that we economically flourished in our nation, and that's because they got it. You want to create jobs, then lower taxes. That works every time.
Excellent. Another very important issue, and one that we've been fighting hard on, is the healthcare issue.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, there's a debate out there. Do you go back and try to fix the legislation that was pending before, or do you start over from scratch? How do you answer that, and how do you feel on that?
Well, first of all, let's understand that the Democratic Congress, the Democratic Senate, and the Democratic President can do anything they want, and they haven't been able to pass this health care plan. From HR 676, HR 3200, the two bills combined, and they're going to try to marry them together, they had to sneak it through in the middle of the night. And why did they have to do that? Because the American people, because of that energy and excitement that we talked about before that's here. You know, this bill would have been rammed down our throats before the recess. So how do we go about fix it? First of all, you got to get rid of this jalopy. It will never, you cannot fix it. Let's think of it in race car terminology. You've got a Ferrari that's running at Daytona, and you've got a Model T Ford. I don't care what you do to that Model T Ford, it's not going to be able to compete. And we need to, and we don't have to start over from scratch. Republicans have some great ideas that will absolutely work. Interstate competition, that works. You know, it works everywhere. We should use it for health care, health insurance. We do that, tort reform, we come up with, working with the states because we have the Constitution, and we start coming up with lowering the mandates, getting rid of the mandates, but working with the states to allow that. That's how we win. Do you know the only federal health insurance nationally that's private? There's only one that's allowed to do that, and that's Blue Cross Blue Shield of the United States government. The federal government, federal employees have a Blue Cross Blue Shield program that works beyond any state barriers, any state lines. How come we can't have that? That's all we're asking for, and they've proven that it works. So yeah, we've got to just get rid of this immediately. We don't have to start from scratch. We know the answers. We need people in Congress that are going to stand up and say the right things and actually do the right things. We don't have that. There's a big disconnect right now between representation of the people and representation of the special interest groups and them worrying about keeping their jobs. Well, we're not going to have to worry about them keeping their jobs, and neither will they come, well, my election April 13th, but come November. I really honestly believe that.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. Is there any kind of last parting words that you want to share with us about CPAC?
This is
Saving freedom, the theme of CPAC.
That's
Saving
right,
freedom.
and that's what it's about. You know, we talk about every year, every election cycle, how this is the most important election cycle of our lifetime. And every year it has been. You know, that's not just something that politicians make up. There's been a degradation of our Constitution for decades because the Constitution limits the power of our federal government. Politicians don't like that. So they've been doing everything they can to degrade our Constitution and say it's not as important as it is. How we win now is to bring that Constitution back into place, into the forefront, the blueprint of our nation. And we then take the constitutional values that we have, the smaller government values that we have, the fiscal responsible values that we have, and we impose them, and we have people that are elected in office that actually do the things that the people want, and we will win, and this will be, once again, as Ronald Reagan said, the shining city on the hill.